you a professional?
Are you?
That's it, Clark. Show him who's boss.
Oh, we're all in this together.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Clark Griswold channel, YouTube channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. You can find me on Twitter at Mr. Clark Griswold. I put daily setups. I tweet out daily setups. I tweet out other information, other stock information. You can give me a follow there. You can DM me there. You can comment there. You can also comment down below on this video on YouTube. I'll get back to you on either one of them. Also, make sure to click that subscribe button and hit that bell. That bell will send you notifications as we put out videos, and we put them out daily for the following day trade setups for you guys to go through. Anyways, for today, we are going through swing trade setups, 1 week setups, starting for Monday, February 7th. That would mean your expiry on the contract, if you're trading options, would be that Friday of February 11th. So let's get started here. If you want to, before we get started, grab a piece of paper and a pen. You can write down the tickers as I call them out. Write down the triggers as I call them out. And that way you can set them up on your own trading platform, or your platform, whether it's TradingView or TOS or whatever you guys are using. So let's get started. 1 week setups for Friday, February 7th. We're going to start with Adobe, ADBE. And what we have in Adobe here is a possible reversal to the upside. We had a 2 down with another 2 down, but it did finish green. So, we're on the daily here. Let's head into the weekly. There we go. That makes more sense to me. So here we are, Adobe on the weekly, ADBE. You can ignore this yellow line. Those yellow lines I put in for my daily triggers. So we're going to be focusing on all the pink lines that I go through on these plays. There will be a daily setup video that will be coming out as well if you guys are interested in that. Otherwise, these are just swing plays for you guys for next week. So let's get started here. Adobe ADBE, we have full time frame continuity currently. I don't know how this next week is going to end up, but we will be looking for puts at $503.81. That is our trigger. Next up, AMC. AMC, we had a 2 down, 2 up. And we do have this little shooter here. So I'm looking for a possible continuation down on a reversal. So we would be looking at this yellow marker here at 1475, or sorry, the pink marker, 1468. We'd be taking puts on AMC. Next up, Activision, ATVI. We have an inside bar. So an inside bar, I always explain this to you guys, is in the Strat, it's a 1 bar. So what an inside bar is we didn't break the high or the low of the previous day's bar. So we stayed within the range of the previous day's bar. You can see here, this marker here at 78 was the low. To 79.85, we did not break the high or the low of this previous candle, so that's what we call an inside bar. That just means that there's consolidation. Market doesn't really know which way it's going, bearish or bullish. So what I'd be looking for here is either puts at 77.91 or calls at 79.83. And we also have time frame continuity here on the week, month, quarterly, yearly. And again, this is last week's time frame continuity on the week. So I'm not sure which way it'll go, but you have your triggers there for Activision, ATVI. Next up, CCL, Carnival Corporation. We have an outside bar. We'd be looking for calls at 21.25, puts at $18.14 with that outside bar. And again, if you're not familiar with it, on the Strat, this would be a 3-bar. And what we have is a 2 down followed by a 3. We're looking for either a 2 up or a 2 down here. Next up, CL, Colgate Palmolive Company. We have another inside bar, a 1 bar. Calls would be at 83.26, puts at $80.80. CRM, Salesforce.com. I am going to mention again full time frame continuity to the downside on the week, month, quarterly, and yearly. But again, this was last week, so we'll see where we end up for this week or where we start out. But we have a 2 down, 2 up that finished red, so I'd be looking for a reversal here, and we'd be buying puts at $210 at 23 cents as I have indicated here. ETSY, that's Etsy. Etsy has an outside bar, and again, I'm going to continue to show you guys your full time frame continuity, and if you would like this on your own chart, if you're using TradingView, you can go up to your indicators and strategies, and you can type in time frame continuity, board rider B. That's the one that I use. Okay, so we can use that, and you guys can put that in there. And outside bar, calls at 159.38, puts at $125.25. Facebook, whew, what a week that was, hey? What a couple of days that was. So again, as I mentioned, full time frame continuity. I don't know what next week is going to show. We have an outside bar for Facebook, puts at $230.03, calls at $327.92. GME, we have an inside bar. We actually have a 3-1 setup. If you follow Rich at Trading Wars, this is his Holy Grail setup. A 3-1, it's a very powerful setup. So on this setup here on GameStop, we'd be looking for calls at 116.80 if we break the high of this inside bar, or $95.22 would be our put at if we break the low of that inside bar. Next up, HD, that's Home Depot. Home Depot, we'd be looking for a reversal, full time frame continuity. Again, outside of that weekly, we'll see what happens. Puts at $354.29 is what I would be looking at here for a reversal to the downside, as we have a 2 down and a 2 up, but the 2 up is red, so I'd be looking for a possible reversal there. LCID, that's Lucid, that's an EV company, electric vehicle, has an inside bar, calls at $30.90, puts at $26.25, full time frame continuity to the downside, outside of that week again. Lowe's Company, full time frame again, outside of this week, which we don't know what's going to be this week. We'd be looking for a reversal, 2 down, 2 up, that's red, puts at $225.18. You know, guys, if I'm going too fast for you, or if you need me to explain anything, just comment down below, and I'll start adding it into the future videos. But comment down below, hit the thumbs up button, whatever you got to do, but let me know, or you can even get a hold of me on Twitter, as I said before, but let me know if there's anything you guys want added, taken out. But let's continue on here. MNST, Monster Energy Drink. We have an inside bar, full time frame outside of this week, as we don't know what it's going to be. But a 2 down followed by a 1. Let's see what we get in the new week. Calls at 87.94, puts at 83.87. Next up, as Rob Smith calls it, Mr. Softy, that's Microsoft. We're looking for a 2 down, 2 up. We'll be looking for a reversal on this play at $299.98. That's where our put trigger is on Microsoft. Next up, my baby, it's Neo EV company. I love Neo. I think they're building a great company. They have a great service. Their battery swap is amazing. But anyways, Neo's got an inside bar on the week. We'll be looking for calls at a $25.22 trigger and puts at $21.52 trigger. Nike, NKE, 2 down, 2 up, but that 2 up is red, so I'd be looking for a reversal on here again with this time frame, as you see, is red. 143.61 is our trigger. Pfizer, PFE, inside bar, full time frame, as you can see, calls at $54.15, puts at $52.37. Pins, that's Pinterest. Pinterest has a 2 down, but again, it finished green. Looks like we got a doji there. So I'd be looking for calls here at $30.31. Your first trigger would be 31.21. Next trigger or next target 33.83, and so on as we hit each top of the candle. That's on Pinterest, PINS, Peloton, PTON, inside bar. And again, these are on our weekly chart that we're looking at, but we have an inside bar, full time frame to the downside, again, outside of this week, as I said before. Calls at 28.58, puts at 23.11. That's on Peloton. PayPal, just like Facebook, had a pretty rough week. We have an outside bar, calls at 176.10, puts at 121.33, time frame to the downside. RBLX, Roblox, inside bar, calls at $69.22, puts at $59.61. And I'm gonna guess, if I go to this daily bar here, I have an inside bar set up on the daily for Roblox as well. So again, if we go to the downside and we trigger it, we also trigger the weekly, okay? If we trigger to the high side, we have a bit to go to get to this weekly trigger, which is this pink line up here. But to the downside, we're there a little bit quicker. That's what I'm saying. If we hit this yellow, we will hit this. If we hit this yellow line, which is the daily, we will hit the pink, which is the weekly, and we should be good for the downside. But let's see how that plays out. Monday morning, SBUX, SBUX, 2 down, 2 up. So you see how this was a 2 down, but it was green here, and this would have been called as a reversal. I'm not sure if I had it on my last week's video. I may or may not have. But we come up to here. We just about hit our trigger. We were pretty close. I probably would have sold a bunch of contracts at that point and let the rest ride, and I would have lost out. But we would have made money from here to here. So again, we have the opposite play for this week. We have a 2 down followed by a 2 up that is red. So we'd be looking for puts at $93.77, time frame to the downside. SNAP, that's Snap, outside bar, calls at $40.70, puts at $24.47. And again, outside of this week, which is currently green, we have the month, quarterly, and yearly are all red. So this goes red. We're looking for puts here. SQ is Square, Block Inc. Time frame to the downside, we have an outside bar. Calls, we're taking 130.77. Puts at $99.84. Next up, TGT, that's Target. We have a, and again, we can use this as an example. We didn't hit targets, but we had a 2 down followed by another 2 down that was green. And last week, we went 2 up on here, okay? So you would have made some money from the 220 mark to the 222 mark if you were playing options on that. But now we have a 2 down followed by a 2 up that again is red. So we'll be looking for puts on this one at $210.48. Time frame to the downside, as you saw there. Tesla, my Esla, TSLA, inside bar on the weekly. we have calls at $944.13, puts at $862.22. I will mention a couple things to you guys. I should have mentioned this earlier in the video. If the spread between the bid and the ask is too high, I usually don't play them. Tesla is, you need a bigger account usually to play because the options are priced so high. I can go through a list with you guys on another video if you'd like for plays that have smaller premiums for playing options. And the other thing I was going to mention, so if we open high or low, then I would not be playing this inside bar. Okay, if we break, I'm not buying in. If we break low, if we open up down here or we open up here, I'm not playing this inside bar anymore. I can play a gap at that point, but I would not be playing the triggers on here as we had already broken it when the market opened. So that's just a little heads up and a pointer for you guys. I'll mention them earlier in the next videos for any new followers. Ford is just an F. We have time frame to the downside, again outside of the week, outside bar, calls at 21.05, puts at $17.52. And I threw in a couple here. These are just a couple companies that I like to watch just to see where they're going and what they're doing. Mindmed is a Canadian company. It's backed by Kevin O'Leary. MMED. And if you wanted to, you could buy shares in these. They're cheap enough that you could buy a bunch. So we have a 3-1 setup or a Trading Wars Holy Grail. So calls at $1.60 and puts at $1.31. I think I added one more on here. Maybe not. XPEV, XPeng, XPEV, another EV play. We have an inside bar, calls at $37.81, puts at $32.61. And that is it. If we go back to Mindmed, I don't think you can buy options on these. I don't think they're available. So the only thing you could buy on Mindmed is shares, but it's a low enough dollar value that if you have a smaller account, you could buy in. And guys, make sure you keep your stop losses tight. So if we're buying shares in this, and you buy in and it goes up, this is your first trigger. 6 cents on $1.60 is not much. It's what does it come out to here? It's 3.8%. So it's not a ton depending on how much you buy, but I like the little hits. I'd like to see a little bit more than that if we can. So I would hope to hit up here on this week at $1.91, and that gives you a little bit better chance at collecting some coin off of that one. You're looking at 19%. So, I mean, even if we got into this $1.70 range, that's where I would be looking to probably take some profits. And then if we go the opposite way into the put territory, into the downside, your $1.06 here from $1.31, that's going to make you some money. You're looking at about 20 or 30% there, depending on where you take your profits on common shares. But yeah, make sure your stop losses are tight. So if you do cross here, make sure you move your stop loss. If you want to keep it at half until you get a little bit higher, and then you can take your stop losses a little bit higher. But just make sure you're watching that, because you can lose an account really fast. Not so much in common shares, but when you're trading options, you can lose an account really, really fast if you are not cutting yourself from the play if it turns in the opposite direction. But that's it for this one, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate the subscriptions. I appreciate you guys adding me on Twitter. And like I said, if you guys have questions, comments, or anything you want to see or don't see in these videos, please let me know so I can adjust accordingly for you guys. I do these videos for you guys to help the community and help teach. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.